What is up, everybody? This is Nick Fiori of Fiori. Oh, it's live now. What is up, everybody? Nick Fiori, creator of FioriousStation, right here on YouTube.com. I am Nick Fiori. It is Saturday, January 27, 2024. This is the SmackDown review from last night's SmackDown with the January 26, 2024 edition of SmackDown last night, which took place live in Miami, Florida. Also the same video, the Royal Rumble 2024 preview and predictions video. I'm Nick Fiori. It's about the late up, almost 4:30ish afternoon, hours before the Royal Rumble, which I am very excited for. I'll be there live the first time for the Rumble tonight. I'm very, very pumped about it. Got a big night. We got potential surprises for the men's and women's Rumbles tonight. We got a really nice, good stacked card, 4 matches, which I'm looking forward to. Should be a really good night for the Royal Rumble tonight and live in Tropicana Field tonight in Tampa, Florida. I am very, very excited for it. Now, before we get into the SmackDown part of the review, I'm not going to make this video that long because in about an hour and a half, I will be leaving from where I'm at now, staying at a friend's house who lives in Tampa. He and I are going to the Rumble tonight. So in about an hour and a half, I will be leaving here to get to the Rumble in time. So I'm not going to make this video too long for you guys. But I know Darwish was supposed to be here for this review for last night after SmackDown. I apologize for that. Something was bothering me. Something really was bugging me, and something really threw me off last night to the point where I decided to move the review and preview predictions for the Rumble, where I decided to, with the SmackDown review and Royal Rumble preview and predictions, to move that video to today instead. So with it being moved to today instead, unfortunately, Darwish won't be able to be here with me for this video today, but I know in the future we'll be able to do a video on here in the channel this time around in the near future, so look forward to that. Before we get into the SmackDown side for this video, hit the like, hit the subscribe button as well, and don't forget to hit the bell for all notifications. It would be greatly appreciated. And also, follow me on Twitter or on X. I might as well just call it X now. Follow me on X at FioriNick579 over on X. Follow me on Instagram at NicholasFiori2014 and follow me on, that's Instagram, NicholasFiori2014. Follow me on Instagram and follow me on Facebook at Nicholas.Fiori.31. Get at me as a friend on Facebook if you would like. So if you would like, don't be afraid to do that. So we'll get into the SmackDown part of the video right now. Show starts off. We get Latin Grammy Award-winning artist Eladio Carrion. Never heard of him before. Don't know who he is. He welcomes the crowd to SmackDown last night in Miami, Florida. He introduces Randy Orton to the ring. Orton comes out to a good pop. He joins Carrion in the ring. Orton puts him over. He says Roman Reigns has been champion for over 3 years. No one can stop the bloodline except for maybe Randy Orton himself. Crowd goes nuts for this, and then Orton notes that the only number that matters at the Royal Rumble is 15. He says when he beats Reigns, Orton will be a 15-time world champion, which I don't think he's beating Roman tonight. That's just me. Then Orton says, how will he accomplish that with the 3 most dangerous letters, RKO. And then AJ Styles comes out. He interrupts. Styles then says that Orton forgot that there are other people in the title match at the Royal Rumble, the WWE title match at the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles then says that Randy Orton is just overlooking him, just like everyone else. Nick Aldis gave the match Styles wanted Styles then said that Nick Aldis gave the match, and then Styles says that Nick Aldis gave the match Styles wanted against Solo Sikoa that tonight from SmackDown last night to LA Knight. He didn't give it to AJ Styles, but rather to LA Knight. Styles then exclaims that Orton had a receipt coming after Orton RKO'd him last week. Styles then vows to walk over Orton, and then LA Knight's music hits to a big pop. LA Knight got a big pop last night from the Miami crowd. So LA Knight's music hits. He says, "Let me talk to ya." And then LA Knight walks out on the stage, and he dunks on Styles for doing nothing but complaining since he came back and returned. LA Knight then calls Styles a dummy for thinking Knight wanted to fight Solo Sikoa tonight. Paul Heyman says Paul Heyman must have set this up because Knight says he is the biggest threat to Roman Reigns ever since Crown Jewel. Knight says he isn't going to complain. He says he's going to beat Solo Sikoa tonight so bad that he will start doing his dad's Rikishi's dance moves. Knight then leaves the ring. Styles then drops Orton with a Pele kick after a midsection kick. And that was the opening segment. I enjoyed the opening segment to SmackDown last night. I thought all three guys looked pretty strong, even though Roman wasn't there. Orton looked good, Knight looked good, and Styles looked good. It set the course for towards the ending of SmackDown later on that night, last night with SmackDown. But I thought that overall this was a nice opening segment to open SmackDown hot last night. And I loved the camera production thing where how they got to LA Knight's music hit with it interrupting. They just did it perfect. Whoever they got replacing Kevin Dunn, I think it's Lee Fitting. Whoever, like with him, like if he's the replacement for Kevin Dunn, and if he was responsible for this perfect production with LA Knight with his music hitting last night, he did it very, very good. He did hit it perfect, and I got to give him a pat on the back, and I say he did more than a good job on that. But a strong segment to open up SmackDown last night. We then get Carlito with the LWL with Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro, and Zelina Vega versus Santos Escobar with Legado del Fantasma of Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. So Carlito in this match lands a flurry of punches. Escobar is forced into the corner. Escobar gets bounced from each corner of the ring, and then Carlito floors Escobar with a chop. Escobar lands a kick that shrugs Carlito off. Carlito with a clothesline to Santos Escobar. Escobar then sends Carlito out of the ring. Then after distraction from Garza and Carrillo, Escobar then takes out Carlito with a dive. We then go to the commercial break. After break, we then have Escobar working over Carlito. Then Carlito starts to fire up. He lands a flurry of offense. Carlito's on fire. Legado then tries to get involved, but a huge brawl breaks out between LWO and Legado. And then, in the confusion, Zelina Vega's on the apron. And then out of nowhere, Elektra Lopez from NXT then hops on the barricade and pulls Vega off the apron. And then this distracts Carlito. And Santos gets the win over Carlito via the roll-up. And Santos Escobar defeats Carlito last night on SmackDown. Decent little match. And now they have Elektra Lopez with Legado. I like this. This reminded me of Legado del Fantasma in NXT when they had the female presence of Elektra Lopez. And apparently Elektra Lopez from NXT was with Lola Vice. That's no more. Looks like Elektra Lopez is now on the SmackDown brand and with Legado. I like this. This is going to make Legado that much better of a faction. And if you thought Santos Escobar wasn't good already, he's going to be even better now with the addition to Elektra Lopez now and Legado del Fantasma. So, honestly, in my opinion, I like where this is going. Santos is going to have a good year this year, mark my words. And I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the U.S. title by the end of this year. Wouldn't be surprised at that at all. And he should have a good performance tonight in tonight's men's Royal Rumble match. So, pretty good stuff here with Carlito and Santos Escobar. And I really like the fact with Elektra Lopez now involved with Legado del Fantasma. Pretty good stuff. So then we go backstage to Nick Aldis with brand new NXT GM Ava. This is the daughter of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. She is now the brand new NXT general manager, and she was with William Regal in the NXT backstage segment this past Tuesday on NXT. I did watch that. Thought it was pretty cool and really great to see William Regal back on TV ever since leaving AEW. The Rock's daughter Ava, I think, is going to do a good job as NXT GM. GM and NXT has been sorely missed, and I'm glad they have her as NXT GM. I think she'll do a pretty decent job, a pretty good job in my opinion. So we have Nick Aldis with Ava backstage. They have the Royal Rumble tumbler where they have this big cylinder and it's a tumbler. They used to do that back in the day where wrestlers would pick their entry for the Rumble, and it's they'd like plastic ball and their entry numbers on a piece of paper in it. You pick in the tumbler. They showed that last night. We've not seen that in years. That's very old school booking. When we've not seen that in a very, very long time. And you know what? I don't hate it at all. I love this move. This just goes to show you of who's in charge, and that's Triple H. That's the change that we're going to see with Triple H, and I couldn't be more excited. I like this move a lot. Wouldn't be surprised if this is a Triple H move at all. But it's like back in the day, you have wrestlers pick their entrance for the Royal Rumble match, and then they had wrestlers picking out their entrant numbers for the Rumble match tonight, and they wouldn't show the numbers, but it was a pretty cool concept back in the day. And then years ago, Vince years ago took it away, and I honestly never understood that. I thought that was a pretty cool concept, and now Triple H has brought it back. I like this a lot. So we have Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits of the Pride. They walk in. Lashley picks his Royal Rumble entry number out of the tumbler. Lashley picks his entry number for tonight's Royal Rumble match. Legado del Fantasma then walks in. Lashley and Santos have a standoff, which was nice. Then Lashley says they haven't forgotten about Legado. So probably a little mini feud in the future for Bobby Lashley and Santos Escobar. We then get to the women's tag team title match. Katana Chance and Kaden Carter defending the women's tag team titles against the Kabuki Warriors of Damage Control's Asuka and Kairi Sane. All I want to say is Katana and Kaden just won the titles. I don't like them taking the belts off of them this soon. I think she had more time with the titles. I think this match should have been saved for WrestleMania this year in Philly on one of the nights, to be honest. I have Katana and Kaden at least hold them till Mania, then you can drop them to the Kabuki Warriors at WrestleMania. That's what I would have done. But we got this match last night, and we got Kabuki Warriors winning the tag titles. Now, though I didn't like Katana and Kaden losing last night, I did like the match, though, a lot. This was probably one of the good matches of last night, in my opinion. And all four ladies did a very, very good job. And they definitely did more than a good job here. All four ladies. And they did pretty good. So right as the bell rings, Carter drops Asuka with a drop kick. Slingshot drop kick by Carter as well. Chanson tags and lands a series of double team moves on Asuka. We then get Asuka and Sane both dumped out of the ring. Chanson lands a corkscrew dive, which was cool. Then we go to the commercial break. Then after the break, we get Asuka and Kairi Sane working over Katana Chance. Then Chance manages to tag in Carter for Carter to get the hot tag. Asuka then kicks out of Kaden Carter's springboard leg drop. Asuka and Kairi then surprise Carter with a lung blower blockbuster combo. Double Shining Wizards by both Sane and Asuka. Chance then breaks up the pinfall. Sane then tries the inside elbow, but Kaden Carter gets their boots up. Sane then manages to tag in Asuka. Carter drops Asuka with the facebuster. Then Katana and Kaden then hit the keg stand. That's one of their tag team finishers. The after party and the keg stand. Love those two tag team finishers of Katana and Kaden. They're such a good team, man. But being best friends in real life, and they just work so well as a team. And I love their tag team offense, especially their tag team finishers. I think they got pretty good tag team finishers. The after party, which is the neck breaker combo with the 450, and then the keg stand where I think it's Caden lifting up Katana where it's like a handstand, then into that with Katana's or Casey Catanzaro's knees with the keg stand. Very nice stuff. So we get that on Asuka, keg stand on Asuka. Kairi Sane just breaks up the pinfall. Carter and Chance then set up the after party, but Sane breaks it up. Kairi Sane then delivers an Alabama slam to Katana Chance on the announce table on the outside on the announce desk, which looked nasty, which looked absolutely brutal. Love that Alabama slam spot by Kairi Sane, man. Absolutely brutal stuff, and I like it. I really like it a lot, man. So that takes Katana Chance out of this match. We then get Asuka and Kairi Sane then hitting the DDT / insane elbow combination on Kaden Carter for the win. And the winners and the new women's tag team champions, Asuka and Kairi Sane of the Kabuki Warriors from Damage Control. Then after they win the titles, Asuka and Kairi did then hug Io and Dakota, but if you pay attention, they did not hug Bayley. I'm predicting Bayley's winning the Rumble, and Bayley thinks she's going after Rhea Ripley. Bayley's going after Io. Bayley's just setting Io and Damage Control up, and I could see, remember when late 04 to early 05, Batista's slow babyface turn back in late 04 / early 05, and then it was the Raw after No Way Out 2005 where Batista was making his WrestleMania 21 decision. He gave then World Heavyweight Champion Triple H and Ric Flair. Batista gave the thumbs up to the SmackDown contract for WrestleMania 21. Then all of a sudden, Batista from thumbs up to thumbs down, and Batista cemented his babyface turn and quit Evolution, and Batista chose Triple H for WrestleMania 21, and then the rest was history. I can easily see that again, but taking a page out of that, great stuff from back in 04, late 04, early 05, from Batista, Triple H, Ric Flair at Evolution, and Batista slowly getting over and eventually outgrowing Evolution. I can easily see that storyline here again, but this time with Bayley playing the role of Dave Batista and Io and Dakota with the Kabuki Warriors taking the roles of Triple H and Ric Flair. So, and I think we're getting Bayley and Io for the women's title at WrestleMania 40 on one of the nights. I think this is where this is going, and I'm very intrigued by this. I like it. Pretty good stuff here, and I'm really looking forward to where they go with this, and I think that's where they go. We then go to backstage with Paul Heyman pumping Jimmy Uso up, telling him that the road to being the next tribal chief may start with bringing home Seth Rollins' World Heavyweight title. Jimmy then says that in order to do that, he has to win the Royal Rumble. So we then go to the next in-ring segment, the face-to-face segment with Bobby Lashley and the Street Profits of the Pride against the Final Testament. This is Karrion Kross with Scarlett, and then Paul Ellering with Akam and Razor of the Authors of Pain. Really good stuff here as well. We got Lashley on the mic with the Profits. Lashley says he didn't come to Miami to talk. He says the people of Miami are here to see a fight. Lashley then demands that the Final Testament come out to the ring right now. Final Testament's music hits. The group stays on the ramp, however, while Scarlett gets in the ring. Lashley then asks why they even sent their lady to the ring. Dawkins and Ford then call Cross and the Authors of Pain scared. Paul Ellering has a mic, and then he says that there is no fear in Karrion Kross, says Mr. Paul Ellering. Ellering then hands the mic to Karrion Kross. Kross then says that Lashley tells Lashley that he isn't in control. Kross then says that they have fulfilled their obligation just by coming out on the stage. He says they aren't fighting tonight. And then Lashley says to Kross that he is wrong. And I'll tell you, when Kross on the mic, you hear the boos and Kross getting pissed with the crowd. Kross getting that nice nuclear heel heat, which I like a lot. And I think I'm liking this group with Karrion Kross with the Final Testament. I think it's pretty good stuff. We then get Ford and Dawkinson hopping out of the ring and attacking the Authors of Pain. Scarlett then jumps in on Lashley's back and rakes his eyes. AOP then leaves the Street Profits laying and lying, and then Croston blasts Lashley from behind with the cross hammer. That's the bullhammer elbow to the back of the head, called the cross hammer. And then the Final Testament then all stand tall while the Pride is all laid out. Good segment. I don't know where they have this match, the Pride versus the Final Testament. Maybe they have it at the Chamber or WrestleMania, but I'm intrigued to see where this is going. I'm really liking this new group of the Final Testament. Reminds me a lot of the Undertaker's Ministry of Darkness back in the day, where you had Paul Bearer, you had Undertaker, you had the Acolytes, Bradshaw and Farouk. Then you had, like, I think Gangrel, Edge and Christian, Viscera, I think. But like back in the day, especially during the Attitude Era, I get a lot of glimpses of that with the Final Testament. And that's not a bad thing, because the Ministry back in the day were pretty damn cool and pretty damn good. And Mike and where this is going with the Final Testament, Lashley is over as a face, and I think they did the right thing by turning the Prophets and Lashley faces, because when they were heels, fans didn't want to boo them, and they were getting cheered, and I'm glad they finally turned them face. So I like that. Also. Final Testament getting some chance to shine. I'm glad the Authors of Pain are back. I'm glad they're with Paul Ellering, and I'm glad Paul Ellering's back. I am glad that Karrion Kross is finally getting some direction that I also like, and I thought this was a pretty good segment with the Pride and the Final Testament. I'm intrigued to see where this goes. We then go backstage to Jimmy Uso, then getting his Royal Rumble entry number for tonight's Royal Rumble match via the Royal Rumble Tumbler. And then he gets his entry number, and he's not happy with what he gets. Now, I'm making a bold prediction for tonight's, early bold prediction for tonight's Men's Rumble. I think entry number 1 is going to be Jey Uso. Number 2, I think it's going to be Jimmy Uso. So if that happens, you know where you heard it, but I'm just making a big bold prediction, early bold prediction for the Rumble on that, as far as the first 2 entrants for the Men's Royal Rumble match tonight is concerned. We then go to Austin Theory with Grayson Waller versus Carmelo Hayes. This was fine for what it was. I wish there could have been more. This was fine for what it was. I just wish there was more. We had Theory landing some nice offense as well as Carmelo. We have Hayes hitting a head scissor face buster, which is always a nice move from Carmelo Hayes. We then have Theory hitting the X at Taxia, which was nice. Hayes kicks out. Hayes then escapes the ATL. Then Waller hops up on the apron. Hayes punches Waller. Theory rolls up Hayes and pulls the tights for the cheap win. Austin Theory wins this match, and after the match, Theory and Waller then beat down Hayes, and then Trick Williams from NXT makes a save, whoop that Trick, and he gets a nice pop from the Miami crowd. Trick Williams then saves Hayes from Theory and Waller. Hayes then tries to give Williams a pound, but Williams then says nah. And then Williams says he only came out because they had to team together for NXT Vengeance Day, which is next weekend. Which I should be watching. Hopefully, that's a decent show, but we'll see where that goes. We then go backstage to Kayla Braxton as she asks Karrion who he thinks will win the WWE title match in the Fatal 4-Way at the Royal Rumble. Karrion says that his boy Randy Orton he thinks Randy Orton's going to win. Then Sikoa and the rest of the Bloodline then walk in. Karrion then says he said that with all due respect, and then Heyman holds Sikoa back. So that was that. And then we get the main event of last night's SmackDown. We get LA Knight versus Solo Sikoa with Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman. We have Sikoa beating Knight in the corner. Knight then fires back and lands a slingshot shoulder block. We got Sikoa not going down. Then Knight then stomps on Sikoa's thumb. Fight then spills on the outside of the rings. Knight slams Sikoa's hand into every surface, including the ring steps and ring post. Knight then gets distracted by Jimmy. Sikoa then blasts Knight out of the air with an uppercut. After the break, Knight fires up. The fight then spills out of the ring. Styles then appears and lands a phenomenal form off the barricade for the referee to call for the bell for the disqualification, so the match is thrown out. So Styles takes out LA Knight with the phenomenal forearm from the barricade and outside the ring. Styles then sends Knight into the ring steps. Jimmy then sneaks up behind AJ with a chair. Styles notices this as he's clearing off the announce desk. Then Jimmy gives Styles the chair and tells him to handle his business. Sikoa then steps in and screams at Styles to take out Knight. If Styles doesn't, Sikoa will take Styles out. Styles then hits Sikoa with a chair. Randy Orton's music then hits. Orton sends Styles flying out of the ring with an uppercut. Sikoa then pulls Orton out of the ring and gets suplexed off the announce desk, which looked brutal. Jimmy Uso then tries to run away like a scalded dog. Orton pulls Jimmy back in the ring and hits the Orton DDT. Styles then tries his phenomenal form, but Orton avoids it, DDTs him as well. Orton then hits the RKO on AJ Styles. Then Orton goes up to celebrate and his music hits, and then as the graphics were going on, out of nowhere, then LA Knight then catches Orton with the BFTD blood force trauma, and LA Knight stands tall as SmackDown last night goes off the air. Strong opening and a strong closing to SmackDown last night, and it sold the Fatal 4-Way for tonight, which I'm looking forward to. Roman's winning, but this should be a pretty good Fatal 4-Way for tonight's Royal Rumble, and a not bad of a go-home show for SmackDown last night for tonight's Royal Rumble match. And then, speaking of the Royal Rumble, right now, this is the preview predictions for the 2024 Royal Rumble, taking place live tonight from Tropicana Field in Tampa, Florida, live at Tropicana Field. This was the home of the 2021 Royal Rumble, where at that time was the Thunderdome with virtual fans. This time, 3 years later, same location, but it's in front of live fans this time. I couldn't be more happier. So, get the first match of the night, United States Championship match. Logan Paul defends the United States Championship against Kevin Owens, who won a 8-man tournament to get Logan Paul and the U.S. title for a match against Logan Paul for the U.S. title at tonight's Royal Rumble. Decent build. I think they have a decent build. I think Owens and Logan have had a decent build. The match should be very good. Kevin Owens is very good in his own right. Logan Paul, just being a celebrity and not doing this wrestling thing for this long, he's damn good at what he does. And he just signed a new contract full time, so I do not hate that at all. I think Logan Paul doing this wrestling thing that long is very good, and he works his ass off. And this match with Kevin Owens tonight should be no different. Logan Paul, Kevin Owens should have a very good match tonight, and so that should be good stuff for the U.S. title tonight. Who do I think is winning? Logan Paul, Kevin Owens. As much as I like Kevin Owens, I think I'm going Logan Paul because I think one of the matches for WrestleMania 40 for the U.S. title, I think it's going to be Logan Paul versus LA Knight for the U.S. title on one of the nights at WrestleMania 40. That's just my opinion. So I think Logan Paul's winning this thing, and I think Logan Paul retains the U.S. title tonight. So I think winner and still U.S. champion, Logan Paul. We then get to the Fatal 4-Way for the undisputed WWE Universal Heavyweight Championship of the World. Fatal 4-Way. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton versus AJ Styles versus LA Knight. Yeah. No pun intended. Should be a really good banger match. I think all these 4 men are going to kill it. But who do I think is going to win? Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns is not losing. Orton's not winning. Styles isn't winning. And LA Knight's not winning. Should be a very good match, but I think Roman Reigns is ultimately going to retain tonight. And I think Roman Reigns is going to be going into WrestleMania 40, in my opinion, as the WWE champion. So I'm picking Roman Reigns. All 3 guys will look good, though. Who do I think will take the pinfall tonight, though? I think AJ Styles will take the pin from Roman tonight. Styles, at this point, in my opinion, AJ Styles is pretty much bulletproof, where he could take a loss tonight, and AJ Styles would be okay. He would not be buried. AJ Styles will be just fine. He's pretty much bulletproof at this point because Orton just came back. He can't get pinned. LA Knight's red hot. You can't have him pinned either. Styles can take the pin from Roman tonight, and he would be okay. With that being said, I think Styles is taking the pinfall loss tonight. I think Roman Reigns is going to retain tonight and go into WrestleMania 40 in Philly as the WWE champion. So I'm picking Roman Reigns to win the Fatal 4-Way for the WWE Championship tonight at the Royal Rumble. And then we get the third match on the card, the Women's Royal Rumble match. The Women's Royal Rumble match. We have Bayley announced so far for the Royal Rumble. We have Nia Jax, Becky Lynch, Bianca Belair, Maxine Dupree, Ivy Nile, Alba Fire, Shotzi, Zelina Vega, and Meech and Mia Yim announced so far for the Women's Royal Rumble match tonight. That is about 10 women announced so far for tonight's 30 women Royal Rumble match, leaving 20 spots open. I'm picking Bayley to win this Rumble. I think Bayley wins, and I think she chooses Io Sky for the women's title at WrestleMania 40. That's where I'm going with it. For the final four, definitely Bayley. Becky Lynch, yes, I could see Bianca in there as well. And I'm also picking no dark horse for in the final four, a returning Liv Morgan. She should be returning from her shoulder injury very soon that she sustained this past summer at the hands of Rhea Ripley. So, speaking of Liv Morgan, I think she's going to be a surprise entrant to return for this Rumble, for the Women's Rumble tonight. So I predict Bayley to win tonight's Royal Rumble match. She's not won a Rumble before. So I'm picking Bayley to win the Women's Rumble tonight. Who do I think is going to be surprise entrants for the Women's Rumble? Naomi, yes. I could see Naomi. She's recently done with TNA or Impact. She's now a free agent. Liv Morgan should be returning from injury soon. I'm going AJ Lee since CM Punk, her husband's back. Don't be shocked if AJ Lee returns tonight. Now, if she returns tonight, I'm telling you that roof is going to explode, and I would love to see AJ Lee back, especially in tonight's Women's Rumble. And with AJ Lee, I'm pretty sure she has one more run left in her. And when she left in 2015, I don't think she wanted to leave. Vince pretty much forced her right out because of Vince's pettiness towards CM Punk back in 2014/2015. And with Vince now being completely gone, I can easily see AJ Lee being a surprise entrant in tonight's Royal Rumble match. Same thing with Naomi, and same thing with Mercedes Moné, aka Sasha Banks. I don't care what Sean Ross Sapp or any reporters say. Oh, she's AEW bound. She's not going to WWE. She's going to AEW. Her AEW debut is imminent. She's signed with AEW. She's going to AEW. Sean Ross Sapp doesn't know. Nobody. We don't know where Sasha or Mercedes is going. We don't know. Sapp doesn't know. PW Insider doesn't know. Dave Meltzer doesn't know. No one knows. Like, the only one who knows is Mercedes herself. And it's very interesting to see where Mercedes Moné or Sasha Banks ends up. It's going to be very interesting to see where she ends up. I don't care where the woman ends up. I just want the woman to be happy, and I just want the woman back on TV and in wrestling, because at the end of the day, she's good for wrestling, is Mercedes Bernardo. If she shows up tonight, great. If she doesn't, not the end of the world. But I mean, there's still a possibility she could show up. We don't know. There were reports that she was in Boston and not in Tampa tonight. Again, we don't know, but Mercedes herself. But and not expected tonight, according to reports earlier as well. But again, no one really knows what she's doing, but Mercedes herself. But we'll see where this goes, man. We'll see where she ends up. Wherever she ends up, I don't care where she is. I just want the woman back, and I just want the woman to be happy at the end of the day. But so Mercedes Moné, Sasha Banks in the Rumble tonight, maybe. I'm 50-50 on it, but we'll see. But if she does show up tonight, I'll be happy. If she shows up in AEW, I'll be happy. I don't care where she is. I just want the woman to be happy at the end of the day, ladies and gentlemen. As far as NXT women in the Rumble, I could see Roxanne Perez. I could see Tiffany Stratton for sure, especially that Becky Lynch is in the Rumble and she has a score to settle with Becky Lynch, especially when late last year with NXT over the NXT Women's Championship. So I could see Tiffany Stratton there. Blair Davenport would not be bad. Nikita Lyons would not be bad. So those are my predictions for NXT Women in tonight's Royal Rumble match. So we should be getting some pretty good surprises for the Women's Rumble. Same thing with the Men's Rumble tonight. But those are my thoughts on surprise entrance and NXT entrance for tonight's Women's Rumble and for Final Four for the Women's Rumble. And with my women's and who I think is winning the Women's Royal Rumble, again, I am picking Bayley. And then finally, the main event, the Men's Royal Rumble match. We have announced so far for the Men's Royal Rumble match about 17. We got Cody Rhodes, we got CM Punk, we got Shinsuke Nakamura, we got Bobby Lashley, Drew McIntyre, Intercontinental Champion. Sorry, there's a fly, so sorry about that. We also got in the Men's Rumble tonight Intercontinental Champion Gunther, Chad Gable, Otis, Akira Tozawa, Kofi Kingston of the New Day, Senor Money in the Bank Damian Priest, Santos Escobar, R-Truth, Carlito, Grayson Waller, Austin Theory, and Jimmy Uso. I think Jay Uso's in there as well. Would not surprise me either. I'm sorry. There's just a fly in that. Don't like flies. I'm just trying to swat them away. But anyways, those are the participants announced so far for the Men's Rumble. It's about 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, about 17 participants announced so far for tonight's Men's Rumble. So leaving 13 surprises. I think for surprise entrants, one of them definitely Andrade. Andrade, no questions asked. He's no longer in AEW. He's a free agent. I wouldn't be shocked if he's in tonight's Rumble. I think Andrade is going to definitely be a surprise entrant in the Rumble. Other surprise entrants, I could see the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger or Shawn Spears from AEW. He's not with AEW either. He could be in tonight's Men's Rumble with entry number 10, the Perfect 10 Ty Dillinger. We could see him tonight. Other surprise entrants, I could see. What else can I see besides Andrade and Shawn Spears? I'm sure I'm missing someone here. Sheamus, I could see returning from injury. Rey Mysterio, same thing. Another one I could. Now this is probably very unlikely, but imagine now MJF still has not re-signed or is still not signed a new deal with AEW. MJF. Now, I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's signing a new deal with Tony Khan and AEW, but just imagine if MJF and CM Punk's in the Rumble tonight for the men as well. Just imagine if MJF comes out in tonight's Men's Rumble. If MJF is in the Rumble tonight for the men, holy shit, that Tropicana Field crowd's going to go nuts. Not nuts, insane. It's going to come off pretty bananas if he's in tonight's Men's Rumble. I don't think it's going to happen, but hey, stranger things have happened and never say never, but I don't think he's going to be in the Rumble tonight for the men, but if he is, man, that crowd's going to go crazy for MJF. But we'll see. We'll see what takes place with that. NXT entrance, Brock Lesnar was supposed to be, I'm sure he was supposed to be in tonight's Men's Rumble, but with Vince, Janelle Grant hush money scandal from this past Thursday. I'm not going to talk about that because it's disgusting. But Brock Lesnar also involved in that with Vince McMahon and John Laurinaitis, and because Brock Lesnar's name in that as well. And Brock Lesnar is apparently pulled from tonight's Rumble, and for good reasons. Because of that, who do I see taking Brock's spot in tonight's Men's Rumble? I could see being Braun Breaker. They could easily be in that spot and do it better than Lesnar, in my opinion. So for NXT entrance tonight's Men's Rumble, I could see Braun Breaker. I could see Carmelo Hayes for sure. Could see Braun Breaker. I could see Carmelo Hayes. I could see Trick Williams, or I could see Axiom, the former A Kid from NXT UK, and he's currently Axiom in NXT. He's very good. I mean, he could be a nice surprise entrant in tonight's Men's Rumble. Could you imagine Axiom and Dragon Lee in tonight's Men's Rumble at the same time? And they had a very good banger match on SmackDown a while ago, both Axiom and Dragon Lee. They both killed it on SmackDown about a while ago, not too long ago. And they could very well be in tonight's Men's Rumble, and I would not be upset about that at all. They had a really good match a while ago on SmackDown. They could have a really nice banger interaction in tonight's Men's Rumble, but we'll see what happens on that. So that's as far as surprise entrants and NXT entrants are concerned for tonight's Men's Rumble. The final four for tonight's Men's Rumble, I'm picking CM Punk, I'm picking Cody Rhodes, I'm picking Gunther, and I'm picking Drew McIntyre. Now, all those four are Raw guys, which is really nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that whatsoever. So those are my final four for tonight's Men's Rumble. And who do I think is winning tonight's Men's Royal Rumble match? I'm picking the best in the world, CM Punk, to win tonight's Men's Royal Rumble match. The last Royal Rumble he was in was the 2014 Royal Rumble. And it's funny I say that because just before going live here, I was just watching the 2014 Royal Rumble from my phone on YouTube a while ago before going live here, and that was Punk's last ever match in WWE. And man, he should have won that 2014 Rumble, not Dave Bautista. Should have been either Daniel Bryan or CM Punk winning that 2014 Royal Rumble, not Bautista. Not Bautista at all. And the 2014 Royal Rumble was CM Punk's last match in WWE, and now CM Punk back in WWE. Punk's first match back in WWE is tonight's Men's Royal Rumble. And the last time CM Punk wrestled in WWE was a 2014 Royal Rumble in Pittsburgh in January 2014. And now it all comes full circle. Now, 10 years later, Punk's first match back in WWE is this year's Men's Royal Rumble match tonight. And imagine if he wins tonight, this all comes full circle. And it just makes so much sense for Punk to win. I am picking CM Punk to win tonight. I mean, Cody Rhodes could win, but he won it last year. And I think Punk wins the Rumble tonight and Cody wins the Chamber next month in Perth, Australia. That's the way I think they should go about it. Or it could be Gunther. Could be Gunther winning the Rumble. We get Gunther and Seth Rollins at WrestleMania for the Intercontinental title and the World title, and Gunther holds both titles at the end of WrestleMania 40. We could see that. I would not be upset about that either. Drew McIntyre could win. I would not be upset with it either. He's done pretty good work recently as of late as a heel. And McIntyre, I think, deserves a nice world title run on Raw. So McIntyre could win it. Gunther could win it. Cody Rhodes could win it. But who do I think is winning tonight's Men's Royal Rumble? CM Punk. I think CM Punk is winning tonight's Men's Royal Rumble match tonight. And I think we're getting CM Punk and Seth Rollins on night one, main event WrestleMania 40 for the World Heavyweight Championship. And that is that for the SmackDown review. So that is that for the video for reviewing SmackDown from last night, January 26th of 2024. And that is that for the 2024 Royal Rumble preview and predictions. And that is all of that as far as all that is concerned. And with all that being said, hit the like on the video, haven't done so already. Hit the subscribe. Hit the bell for all notifications. It'd be greatly appreciated. Make sure you go do that. Follow me on X at FioriNick579, Instagram at NicholasFiori2014, and Facebook at Nicholas.Fiori.31. And I got nothing else to say. And I'm Nick Fiori. This is FioriousNation. And I appreciate you guys joining me here for this video. And thank you guys so much for joining. This is greatly appreciated. And I love every single one of you guys. And I will see you either Sunday or Monday for the Royal Rumble 2024 review video. I'm Nick Fiori. Have a good rest of your day, guys. Looking forward to tonight's Royal Rumble as we kickstart the road to WrestleMania 40, the first ever Triple H booked Royal Rumble. I'm super stoked, and tonight we kickstart and begin the road to WrestleMania 40. I'm Nick Fiori, and I will see you guys later, and peace out. The road to WrestleMania 40 begins tonight.